I wake up. I'm alive. This is my room. This is what I see every morning when I wake up to remind me that the art life is attainable, especially since the year I had last year.
I always envisioned no limits, but to be this young and to have this opportunity to be a child of the city, it means a lot more to me than just beyond exposure. This is my heart's passion. So to see that manifest is truly a blessing from God.
You can immediately detect the influence of his missionary mother. But Christopher McIntyre's place as part of the Wisconsin 30 exhibit at the Milwaukee Art Museum is perhaps something some would say was a long shot.
This piece is a snapshot of my life.
He readily admits to having to overcome the challenges of having a father who was incarcerated.
Being around a dark and dreary world, lacked opportunities, locked because of color, locked because of where I come from, and locked because of my age, I had to create my own way. And that's where art kind of came, and I chose the higher path, the narrow path. That's what this piece is about, higher thought.
This piece changed my life and helped spark Broken Genius, which was, to a point, born at the Milwaukee Art Museum. I met a gentleman by the name of Chad. We both have the same initials, C.M.P, just to show divine providence at work. He was moved by higher thought, and we ended up being on the same task force at the Milwaukee Art Museum for their Uncommon Folk Show. And he sat at my table, we had a conversation and scheduled a meeting. Upon meeting with Chad, we had a conversation about Milwaukee's culture, investing in Milwaukee's own artists, as well as opportunities. And he told me that he was the director at the time of the South Milwaukee Performing Arts Center. And he looked at me and he asked me a question. And he said, what could you do in a 700 plus seated performing arts center? And I looked back at him and I said, give me an opportunity and I'll show you. And by the grace of God, he did.
The acoustics in here are pretty good.
Yeah. This is a really, I always tell the kids when they're messing with them, like, it's more than both my cars.
Chad told me that he had no idea why he pretty much gave me the keys to this space. But Lord knows, I do. There's a reason why we met. Divine providence. There's an opportunity here to bridge a gap in one of the most segregated cities in the United States of America. Because we live in this world where, for some people, the struggle is a normal thing. For others, it's something that's whimsical, something that's a fantasy, something that's fascinating. It's odd, but I just wanted to, with this opportunity, show the truth in its rawness and its ruggedness, but also show that amidst being broken, you can be healed. On our website, we have our manifesto in great detail, so I encourage you to check that out. Because as it stands now with this documentary, I'm here to tell a story.
You guys want to write and memorize the 3 pieces?
Memorize. Hey, okay, throw me that book. Okay, all right.
I get the look?
Hold on. When have you ever seen me do a piece on paper? I'm saying.
Never.
Well, I've never seen you do a piece off paper. Rick, I've heard. I've heard slam renditions. Oh, okay, right. It's called passion. You change it as you go.
Passion. That's right. It is not safe outside.
Now these days are set in stone. There's no change in theory.
Period.
All right.
Those
A
days
lot
are
easier.
set.
Like any story, it continues with collaboration. With this opportunity and this concept that was birthed, I wanted to reach back and really give a full art experience, combining performance art, musical art, literary art, and visual art. So I shot 18 pieces, and I reached out to 6 spoken word artists and performing artists who in turn wrote pieces on my pieces. So these artists that you see here, Nigel Wade, Remy the Gambit, and Bobby Drake, they're picking their pieces as the pieces speak to them. They're dissecting, they're going through them all.
If somebody would start doing Sweet Black right
That's
now,
the first time I heard
yeah, that's what they go-to piece. Yeah, but I was like, joint. That was my piece right there. That would be crazy. That was my go-to. So how you guys like it?
And you guys can definitely connect with the musicians if you guys want to vibe off of the pieces that you have already. See what will go proper with music.
Thank you.
So
It's crazy.
no gang signs.
No gang signs.
Peace.
Nice to meet you.
We vibe like all the time. Our office is on North and Prospect, so I'm pretty sure it'll just be like a random night.
Montreal Kane, sponsor and owner of C.M.P, as well as musical director and pianist of Broken Genius, has been working tirelessly using his creative genius to score the visuals of my artwork to coincide with the narration of the spoken word artists with beautiful musical scores, along with Monique Elise, one of the dopest violinists in the state of Wisconsin. And just looking at their process and how they work, it's so organic, it's so fluid, and to see them create scores and then write the music out or memorizing them for the most part without even writing them down shows me that I'm truly blessed to be in the presence of some creative geniuses. And they, again, have been working tirelessly at creating beautiful scores since January of 2014. And don't just take my word for it. Here's a sample.
Dismiss your submission. But what is there now? What is there now he wouldn't give to have you in his grasp again? Now your eyes are as dry as wells in relation to the very fire of hells, because you know now that you were graced with a face in accordance with heaven's gates, and you are perfection, and from every direction your aura radiates blessings.
Find a relationship at poetry where they are getting therapy. If no one shows up with spiritual words in those spaces, all them people just live a darker life. They go home validated by the evil that they spit on the mic, the vileness that they spit on the mic, because there's somebody that'll give them an O for saying they colder than ice and smoother than a seal's back. And that means now you cold and you dope, but it has nothing to do with all the challenges you really need to deal with in your life. Every now and then, 1 or 2 people will dive in poetry and give people a soul-saving message.
Yes.
And that gets blended in with all the bull. And if people don't continue to go, because like a lot of times when I go, I'll be like, I don't want to go. But something happens where I gotta go. Somebody call me like, dog, I'm featured. If you don't come, I'm gonna be sad. Then I go and then something happens there that if I wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened. You know, so there's a piece of this that's a responsibility by having the gift.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Piece of it.
I just have to say that you have had the best speech of all time.
Yes.
You get what you need.
Y'all ignorant.
You better come on with that thought. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But how to get what you need. Yeah.
Amidst the silliness, we get to work. And the young lady that you heard speaking words of wisdom was Fiery Phoenix, who is very soulful in her approach with this project.
I will be clothed in the garment of praise for the rest of my days. Always, I will dance, I will dance, I will dance, I will dance. Like a red diamond with a fire in the center, shooting off prismatic rainbows of light into your mental. Be free, children of the flame, burning deep within. Never let your light be doused by the carnal state of men. Take the walls down, find your way into the heart of Zion. The world will tell you you're not worthy, but you know they're lying.
We can say hashtag a bunch of things, but I was like, hashtag everything you put behind it. Hashtag everything. Hashtag that hashtag. That night was hashtag about that life. Hashtag about that life. That's what we did the whole night, and all night we were doing that.
Yes.
And Montreal wasn't there,
So I'm certain
So social.
that he was not the author.
You need to hang out with us. People who do like things like this, we put the mustache on our fingers like this, and we start talking in a funky accent as if we really know what we're doing. And then it's really just awkward. It's like awkward.com.
Seed of the sun. You were plucked from the sun, planted into the earth of your mother's womb. Nothing about your arrival was a mistake. It was God's design. You were so on time, but the passers-by may never come to know of your beauty, nor get to see you shine. Because we built highways and byways to bypass your way, cruising over your neighborhood to keep the hood at bay, and efforts to give them peace of mind. So they strip you of your basic needs: nourishment, shelter, a quality education, a chance to succeed or just to live, because see, black life means nothing to white power, and certain positions leave no room for accountability to do the right thing, so they treat you like a number.
For a bunch as talented as our team, we also needed a strong manager, and I'm blessed to know this young lady, Jessica, who has been working tirelessly as well to make sure things work flawlessly.
We're ready? It's not safe in the shadows, even for those born of them. Not knowing where they're from, it's difficult to imagine white picket fences in their future. Their existence is unclear, as are their origin. Let's face it, no one looks at the unknown as something to be embraced or understood. No true definition of home means there's no real concept of leaving. Fascinated by flight, with only the ability to run. Told about the light from forward thinkers, looking back on the abyss, flipping coins into the matter, never waiting around to hear it land, whether it be on palms or concrete. Even wishing well gets lost in the shadows, conforming to its camouflage.
A lot of long nights.
The corner store is where I found out a lot about life. 16, kicking it with older boys I had no business with. But there I learned how the system can fail you. That words shouldn't hurt, but hollow points expand on impact. But a brew covered in a paper bag passed between friends takes the edge off, and we would always pour the last bit out at the end. I moved 240 miles north, and the corner stores are still the same. I'm working a 9 to 5, but I still can't get it straight. I'm managing to pay bills on time, but time after time, my 9 to 5 doesn't pay for everything. So I'm pinching pennies and looking for a second job. I make too much for a quest card, so most days it's hard because women, infants, and children can't provide the right supplement for the women, infants, and children that it was intended for. But Milwaukee was built by the strong shoulders and backs of the men, women, and children in poverty. Surely you have...
Vanity itself became the ugliness, the ugly side of beauty. We placed it on women, but it's not something to be shouted. So at points where you guys get really loud, and then you get loud and keep riding out loud and keep riding out the individual, and then it makes too much. Like
drain out the intensity and fall back some?
Yeah. Don't fall back on the performance because the difference in the extra, the variations in all of the performances were perfect, but fall back on the intensity.
And we went back and forth from rehearsal to rehearsal.
Great time. When you walked in, I knew, because they couldn't hold it.
I should have just like stayed and be like, you know, I'm not making practice.
Did you need an umbrella? Is that what
No, what happened was I ran. What happened was.
Watch it grow, for clouds better hell likes the rain and winter snow. Up beneath the surface, the seaweed grow. Cause here there's a season, spring out the winter snow. Plant a seed and watch it grow. Plant a seed and watch it
It's just came at first.
You know, sometimes you gotta generate proper amount of energy and strength, and sometimes that requires push-ups. Yeah. Let's go. And we could do some push-ups.
Utopia was built upon the... No, where's that note coming from?
Don't try to skip this finger, please bear with me, because I really need it.
Rehearsals are opening to pray, announcements, work, play, work, refinement, work. As we are trying to polish this gem that we have, something that's never been done before, let alone in this city, how are we going to make an impact in this place that we come from? Really looking at things from a different vantage point and trying to ripple effect out throughout the state and beyond. How could we do that without going back to the place where we came from? So, given that we are a fan of grassroots movements, we had to go directly to the community and go grassroots as well. We're at Bronzeville Week right now, an initiative by Alderwoman Coggs, as we had the opportunity to speak on the Friends of Bronzeville stage to the community, not only about this, but we had an opportunity to perform. Myself, Britt Nicole.
But now that you play by your own rules, thinking cutting into your wrists and watching the blood as it pulls will make for a better sentiment, and seeing her every day.
Fiery Phoenix and Naima.
Yeah? What's that one? You said it before. Like a snake.
Shut it down from the summer of peace stage. We appreciate y'all showing us love. I'll let all of you art activists get off stage. See how you can help them. See how you can support them.
So we outreached to the community while rehearsing relentlessly and having a heavy social media campaign. We also are blessed with great sponsors such as Erica Joy Daniels of Brady Corporation and John Daniels III, who came to sit in on one of our rehearsals. John Daniels III is a pastor at Old Mount Zion, New Jerusalem Church of God in Christ, located at 1527 North Astor Street, where fellowship starts at 10 a.m. every single Sunday. Along with Pastor Daniels, John Daniels Jr., chairman of the Fellowship Open, as well as the chairman of Quarles and Brady, who sits on various boards along with his sister Valerie Daniels Carter, have orchestrated an event called the Fellowship Open, where they honor historical figures as well as contemporary movers and shakers in an event that is geared towards youth empowerment as they lift up organizations that are in a position of influencing the city for greater good. Along with our other sponsors, we were able to focus on opportunities of expanding the Broken Genius reach and creating opportunities for other artists, such as guitarist and local artist Shane Loftman, who has worked alongside me during this Broken Genius process and became an educator of Broken Genius, where he was able to consistently work with me and work with the youth of St. Marcus as they created a Broken Genius course, where the curriculum was founded by myself, and we were able to bring in tons of various guest speakers and cultivate the idea of genius being born. What'd you say? Entrepreneur? It's someone who pretty much works for themselves. It's not like, oh, I work a 9 to 5 and I get paid this amount. You have entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs. In a sense, just someone who's able to make wealth from what they're able to do. So artists are entrepreneurs.
My process is very sporadic. I just, I often daydream, even at my age. I'm not that old. Let me start over. I often daydream, period.
For about 9 weeks, we work with 6 very talented, bright, and creative youth who come from various struggles, and we wanted to inspire them with the Broken Genius model of how they can express themselves and have healing power through empowering each other with their gifts. We are thankful for the open-mindedness of St. Marcus, as well as the organic process that was able to take place, as the youth are going to perform their own rendition of Broken Genius, November 8th, 2014, at their St. Marcus Gala. We are so grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with St. Marcus faculty members, as well as the partnership that took place in order to make this effort come to fruition. So where does that leave us now? It leaves us perfecting and polishing a diamond in the rough into a diamond ready to be shown to the world. This process has not been easy. It's been fully equipped with sickness, with tears, with the loss of life, with stress, anxiety, all of these different things. But here we are, broken yet okay. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you've been through. Every person is broken, and every person has genius potential. There is hope, there is faith, and there is love.
Gunshots in between. Hey, oh! Valleys shed. Tears of pain no person can understand. No person can recommend the thing for because he...
Everyone's broken. Everyone has genius potential. Everyone is a broken genius. And everyone needs Jessica I couldn't have done this without her. And I mean that truly. I feel like God sent her in my life to help in this process and beyond. So words cannot express how grateful I am for this woman. Montreal Kane, musical director and sponsor, he's gone above and beyond the line of duty to see Broken Genius become a successful thing. So I'm thankful for this brother, and I'm thankful for his gift, his leadership, and the fact that he's willing to not only speak but listen. Monique Elise, the very vocal and very hardworking violinist of Broken Genius, has been early to every rehearsal and ready to stay even when she's been in situations where she physically should have gone home. She's endured for the sake of this process, and I'm so thankful for her. Shane Loftman has found healing in speaking and teaching and orchestrating creative pieces with the youth, as he's going to be performing with the youth during their St. Marcus Gala rendition of Broken Genius. And he's been an asset as a Broken Genius educator as well as guitarist. Remy the Gambit, the thoughtful, introspective gentleman, he has gone through a lot to get to this process. He's endured a lot, and I'm thankful that he is still here, he's still standing, and that we're going to see this through together. So I'm thankful for his presence, truly. I'm thankful for Naima, because she has truly been a great asset to this production, given the fact that she is the self-proclaimed comedic filler. Although she has a hard competition with some of the other cast members, she is also the youngest, and she is proven to be a firecracker on the microphone. Bobby Drake, in this process, had with his wife a baby girl named Ava, who truly is an angel. And I know that some of these pieces during this process mean a lot more to him now due to him having a daughter of his own. So I'm thankful for his presence as well as his sarcasm. I'm thankful for the wisdom of Fiery Phoenix, as she is often seen off camera and on camera, from clips that have been made as well as clips that weren't made, giving wisdom to anyone who's willing to listen. Nigel Wade has always been a person who I've admired because I see his theatrical history at work when he does pieces, because he's very animated and he's very vocal and he's willing to help as much as he can. So I'm thankful for his presence in this process. I'm thankful for the communal heart that Britt Nicole has, because not only is she working a day job while going to college, but she's also hosting a community outlet called Pentastic every Monday night, and she is an active member of Broken Genius.